As some of you might know, I killed the horse last time in my JoJo Dance review.
Sorry, little one. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you.
And I just want to say, I undid that. He's alright, he's here. Here, say hello. The new episode of so the first episode of Steel Ball Run came out, and I'm very excited to talk about it. As usual, I'm very late with my video, and everyone else already talked about it, but the difference now is I'm here. Poco Loco, this dude stole the show. He took the lead so many times, was insanely likable. It almost felt like he was like the main character near the end, which is really funny because he becomes so unimportant in the story. I hope at some point through the series he comes back. I know he wouldn't come back because in JoJo Dance he would be 200 years old, and I know he's lucky, but I don't think he's that lucky. Or is he? Either way, this made me really like his character, and like now I want more of him. All the VAs did great, but I think the one guy who did the commentation over like the commentator VA, that was a bit weak. Like in the Poco Loco scene where he's on the cow carcass riding it, he's all casual like, oh my god, he's riding a cow carcass.
This guy! It's a dead cow! He's sliding down the hill on a cow carcass!
I expect him to be like,
oh my god, this nigga riding a cow carcass! Nigga doing voodoo magic, what the fuck?
Quick side note, this is not a diss towards the VA, you did great. Why does the kid that shot Johnny sound like Morty from Rick and Morty?
The end of the line is back there! I've been here all night! You can't—
I just realized I did not need to say from Rick and Morty. Where else would he be from? What nigga is called Morty? There is only one Morty, and it's the guy from Rick and Morty, and there's multiple of them. But there's multiple main Mortys. Well, actually, no, there's two. Well, no, there's a theory. That's for another day. The art style has gotten a slight upgrade, I would say, and it's now close to part 8/9. And the animation in general, oh my god. I saw people being really concerned about the animation being bad, or like the entire anime being horrible. That first episode alone had me shook. Like, you can tell that the part 5 people animated on this. You know, I got a little bit PTSD from One Punch Man. I could go on a ramble about One Punch Man, dude. That first season, man, fuck. Like, I know it's been like 10 years since the first season came out, but you don't know how good that first season was. And then it got so much worse, like so much worse. One Punch Man fans with season 1 are like Game of Thrones fans with everything but the ending. Seriously, Game of Thrones fans won't shut up about that ending. Any YouTube video of any TV show with any ending, literally anytime when it's a bad ending, someone in the comments will be like, you know, at least it wasn't Game of Thrones, but like, dude, what the how bad was it? Why won't— The animation was really good is what I'm trying to say. But if we're going to talk about animation, we should probably also talk about the CGI. It looked good. You know, CGI is like a tool to cut down costs when animating because it's a lot more expensive to draw things individually than to have a CGI segment thingy just being quickly made. It's also just easier to work with. If you want to change a character's hairstyle, with 3D it's a lot easier than with 2D, because with 2D you have to change every frame's drawing. With 3D you have to just change a model and then do some adjustments. But when you combine the two, the best way to implement that is by having the CG be very seamless and adhere to the original 2D art style. I'm currently editing this video, and I have to say it's insanely hard to figure out which parts of this show is CGI and which aren't. It's mostly the horses, but that shows how good the CGI is. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, the reason why they use so much CGI on the horses is because it's one of the hardest things to draw. Like, genuinely, drawing a horse is so complex. I don't know what it is about them, but they are so fucking confusing and hard to draw. So CGI helps with that. Okay, continue on. The best use of CGI that I've seen in my life in an anime or animation, and I'm being completely serious when I say this, is Family Guy. They constantly use CGI, like constantly, for cars, machinery, and really anything mecha. But because of the flat colors, choppy animation style, and use of composition to hold our attention on something that isn't the obvious 3D model, it integrates itself seamlessly into the show. The best way to use CGI in animation is to have it be seamless. If it took you 2 seasons to notice that there was CGI used throughout the entire show, that's really good CGI. And with Family Guy, it took me 13. Only after you notice it once, you start looking for it. So they've done a really good job here, sometimes. I'm gonna be real, like, people glazed the CGI used in part 7, really, and it deserves it. but also sometimes it looks like shit. But you know, that's something small, not that noticeable. You would still eat a sandwich if it had like a little bit of poop in it, just like a little bit of poop in it. By the way, that was the second time I started talking about Steel Ball Run and then started talking about Family Guy right afterwards. If I had a penny for every time I started talking about Steel Ball Run and I ate a sandwich with a little bit of poop in it.
I'm so sorry for being late. There was so much traffic, so much horse traffic.
Also, another problem I had with the animation / more so the storyboarding of the episode / directing was honestly some things felt like they were cut jarringly, as if a second of silence could have benefited from it, if you get what I mean.
どういう足してんだけど礼は言わないぜ
Between the manga and this one, there were a lot of changes, of course. But one thing I really am not happy about is they left out a comment about Johnny's horse being hard to tame. That line gave his conquering of the stallion a new meaning, so I'm pleased to see it removed. But I would be pleased to see me conquer Megan the Stallion. Another thing they took out is the press mentioning that Steven Steele is the husband of Lucy Steele. I assume they're gonna bring it back later. I really hope they didn't take it out entirely because, oh man, that made his character so cool. Like, you know that one meme that's like, he's a for a fantastic reason? It's that, but it's like real. He isn't horsing around. But again, I assume it's gonna be brought up in a very specific moment that suits it well. Manga and anime, of course, are two different mediums, and the structure in a manga might not be the best for the structure of an anime. And maybe, also just maybe, Netflix wants the anime to be more second screen. Ooh, look at me feel manga. Look at me doom pose. Human niggas love garlic. There's kind of people if you put garlic in it. Like, honestly, if you don't like garlic, like, you're not even at it. But the changes, like I mentioned, made it so that it felt more like a race, which is actually a good thing because the one thing about Steel Ball Run that I have to critique is it never felt like a race. That was very much just a background element to this entire story, which isn't a bad thing because the story was still great. And also the focus on the race would have kind of destroyed the flow of the manga. To give my opinions on the designs in general, everyone looks fine, everyone looks okay, and everyone looks great. Poco is phenomenal looking, like really phenomenal looking, like he looks straight out of the manga. Same with Diego. But with Gyro and Johnny, okay, I like Gyro's look. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think Johnny's a bit ugly. I know JoJo fans can be a bit iffy with criticism of their favorite manga, and me too, but like, I miss that long face he had, like from the manga, or like from the game. That fucking horse face. But not gonna lie, I'm starting to get used to his new look, and in some shots he sort of looks like a beautiful lesbian, and that's good. It looks good, that's what I'm trying to say. Also something that another YouTuber mentioned, I forgot the name of it, so I don't know how to credit him. I'm gonna put it on screen if I remember. There was a very similar sound effect to be heard with the steel balls, like it sounded like Hamon. And that was great, because, you know, this universe, like, this is the universe's equivalent to Hamon, the steel balls, the spin more so. As for when the next episode comes out, the director of the Steel Ball Run anime said, I don't know. Which, it's a funny reply, but also very understandable. It's a Netflix original. Usually the longest part of an anime is like the storyboarding, and that takes very long, and then the animation, so everything being drawn, is done in like less than a week. Some of the episodes in part 5 came out the same week they were animated. But now things have changed, so Netflix is doing it. They're doing the dubbing, the voicing, everything, all at once. So of course, it now takes longer to produce. Now the director has to wait for Netflix to finish all this stuff, because that isn't part of his job. So his I don't know response actually kind of makes sense. X4 has a video on that explains it better than I could. Either way, I'm very excited for the next episode, and yeah, this was a good start to like the best JoJo part, you know? I just realized, I think Sandman has more so the face that I wanted Johnny to have, the long nose and everything. What the fuck? The white man stole your land and now you steal his face. So yeah, thank you for watching, and expect another video coming when the new episode comes out. So in a way, you, the audience, like all of y'all guys, can watch with me live. And then by proxy, we start bonding together and like, you know, getting to know each other. In a parasocial way maybe, but whatever. In the YouTube business we call it audience bonding. But because I'm not into BDSM, I'ma call it audience horsing.
You go watch my other videos. So my videos, you little rascal. Get over here!